Hello and welcome to SPINcast, the esports industry's #1 podcast. My name is Sheridan, and today I am joined by Dylan Gentilcore from the University of Wisconsin River Falls. So, tell us about your program.
Yeah, for sure. So here at University of Wisconsin River Falls, we're a brand new program. We just started this year really as kind of like a year zero, which gives me the opportunity to go out, meet some recruits on and off campus to build those varsity program teams for next year. Next year, I'm really open to the possibilities of recruiting for virtually any competitive esports titles, but the ones I'm going out and looking for recruits specifically for are Call of Duty, Rainbow Six Siege, Valorant, League of Legends, Rocket League, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, and Overwatch 2. So those are like our baseline titles that we're trying to have competitive rosters for. But like I said, I'm open to opportunities and player talents and passions outside of those games. Also looking for people to serve behind the scenes on media production, content creation, social media management, all of those good things, as well as any players that would like to serve as coaches or analysts for any of the rosters. So on top of all of those titles and the competitive structure we've built in, we're looking to compete in NACE, NECC, as well as all of those major premier developer leagues. So, for instance, in Rocket League, we're of course going to make an attempt to qualify for CRL and compete in there as much as we can. So, the vision really is to sort of cover all of our baselines in the major national leagues for titles, compete in the dev leagues, and then being open to opportunities like I am, I'm also willing to look at other tournaments that we can travel to or compete in outside of just the collegiate space. So we're really versatile in the way that we approach our program here at UWRF. As far as recruits and what we're looking for, we always value the fact that we're uh, really trying to build a program that tries to get results the right way. So being driven, having the ability to structure yourself and be flexible within a structure is really important to us. So looking at how we can provide students with all the tools they need to succeed and play at their absolute best. So on top of the competitive aspects, we're trying to flesh out different avenues and pathways for students. I know talking to so many of them, especially the ones I've talked to stay plugged in recruits, like they value the ability to look at esports as a career long term. So utilizing our proximity and connections with organizations like Version 1 and Wisdom Gaming, those are things that we're trying to build out for students so we can build professionals both inside and outside of esports.
Since your program is pretty new, in general, what are your goals for the program in the next few years?
Yeah, so outside of just this year, which is really about making sure that the groundwork is all there for students to just come in and be able to compete and perform at that high level, starting with year one. Outside of that, obviously, I can say as a competitive person, I'm looking for us to compete for national championships and titles right out the gate. I want us to be a team that starts to build a reputation early on for competing at a very high level, and then also showing off our players, putting out content regularly that people, when they think of UWRF, they think of our streams consistently being high quality, of the content we're making around the players being really insightful and on the mark for what we're expecting from players as developing professionals and representing the UWRF brand that we have here. We never want to come across as immature or amateurs in anything that we're doing, whether it's in competition or content. So those are some of my major goals. And then as far as the way that we interact with the rest of campus, we are underneath athletics. So we're the 18th collegiate intercollegiate program here at UWRF, and we're trying to make sure that there's a really strong sense of community overall, and trying to grow that community through things like our casual student club, which is already sponsored by Gen G for this upcoming school year. We're looking at ways to continue growing our offerings through open recreation hours in the Esports Lab, as well as free intramural tournaments that students can compete in on a monthly basis.
Tell us a little bit about the Esports Lab.
Yeah, so the Esports Lab is brand new. It just got finished up a few weeks ago. We currently have around 30 plus titles installed across 26 Alienware PCs that'll have RTX 3080s in them and 240 hertz monitors. Students are more than welcome to bring their own peripherals, but we also provide stock Logitech peripherals at each of the computers. So you can expect to come in and be able to sit down and play with high quality peripherals and setups. If you prefer to use a controller or play at a console, we have 3 console stations in the back with the Nintendo Switches hooked up. We're looking to expand into obtaining PS5 soon. Waiting for stock to clear up a little bit. And we have plenty of controller options for players on both the Switch as well as the PC. So if you're someone who comes in and you really love playing Rocket League you want to have this amazing Rocket League experience at 240 hertz, and you're more comfortable with a DualShock 4 controller than anything else, we have DualShock 4s on hand, ready to hand out to students to utilize.
So tell us why your school is attending the Cary to College event.
So for me, I think that any opportunity that I can have to personally not only interact with the students, but to see them play and see how they work through a team environment, get a better picture of like the eye test, how the players actually perform in game, especially when they know eyes are on them. That's incredibly valuable. And I always like to attend as many of these events as possible, right? I think that shows my commitment to going out there and doing the work in terms of scouting, but it also puts me in connection with the players who are putting in the most work right now. And like I said, that driven, motivated mindset is something that I'm intrinsically looking for. I want students who like to play the game a lot, who like to be in competitive situations, who are always signing up for different events and opportunities to compete and showcase their skills.
What would you say are the important items that a student should consider when looking for these collegiate opportunities?
Yeah, so I think there are a key few things that students can do. First off, make sure that you have a picture in your mind, right? It doesn't have to be crystal clear, but a picture in your mind at least of what you're looking for from a university in terms of both the academic experience, because that's first and foremost the main thing you need to prioritize. If you're just going to university to become like professional in an esports, game, or to make the translation to a long-term career in esports, like that is a bit narrow in your view, right? College is this amazing opportunity to learn and grow and develop all of these different contingencies to where you're a flexible adult with professional skill set who can go out and contribute to the workforce and make a living for yourself doing something that hopefully you love, since you're going to have to work for like the next 45 years or so after you graduate, right? So I think first and foremost, think about what you want from a college academically, and then on the counterpart to that is, what do you want competitively, right? What do you want that experience to be like on those varsity teams that you're trying to join? What do you want the environment to be like? What goals do you have for yourself? What do you envision your competitive aspirations to be in terms of how often you're competing and what those competitions look like? If you're someone who's really dedicated to going to a lot of lands, right? Different universities are going to support that to varying levels. So making sure that you have a clear picture in your mind of what you're aiming for helps a lot in these conversations. I would say outside of that, just like brush up on what you've actually done esports wise, right? Like I don't necessarily want to tell people to have their resume on hand, but be able to put into words your competitive background, right? Have you competed in amateur teams or leagues? Did you compete on your high school team? What's your rank and how do you think you stack up against other players around your skill level, right? Those sort of talking points allow coaches to have a much more candid conversation about the role that you'll be able to play within a team.
And what advice do you have for students who are looking to put their best foot forward in, approaching coaches or even looking for these collegiate opportunities?
I think first and foremost, the thing that's always stuck out to me about esports and the reason that I'm here right now is that you kind of just have to be willing to say yes, right? You have to be hungry for opportunities. So I really like talking to students who are open-minded to pursuing all these different avenues that not only do they love playing the game, but they're also down to make content. They're excited about the possibility of networking and meeting other schools and professionals in the industry, that they're excited to come on campus and join other organizations and clubs and work with professors closely. I think all of those little aspects really help contribute to just overall what we're trying to grow here, which is a community of learners and people who are taking advantage of this unique time in their life when they can go off and have these adventures, so to speak, and be able to grow from them in a really like safe and conducive way.
How's your program helped new recruits adapt to maybe being in college for the first time or playing on a team for the first time?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's something that I've been trying to address with recruits along the way. We are a public university. We are underneath athletics as far as the esports program is concerned. So we do a lot to provide our students with mentorship as well as orientation programs to get them used to the fact that we are a slightly larger campus. We're not huge by any means, but around 5,000 students. We're in an area where you can really focus on your academics and focus on your college experience. But at the end of the day, it's like those support structures that we have in place, the fact that you'll be part of that cohort model that comes in as a freshman or even a transfer student, right? And you'll be able to orient yourself to campus. You'll have access to myself and the rest of the athletic department to help you with that process. You're going to be part of a community that's growing on campus, the Esports Club. Since I've gotten here and taken over as faculty advisor for the casual side of things, they've quadrupled, quintupled in numbers. So there are people that are interested in video games that you can interact with, that are going to class and having experiences on campus that you can just get involved with right away without feeling lost or alone within the crowd.
Thank you so much for talking to us and telling us about your program.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much, Sheridan.